Valerie.
Quench my desire, and I'll be at your side forevermore.
Good morning, everybody. Oh, I like the clapping. Hey, teenagers, I know you partied last night, but you can do better than that this morning. I said good morning. Thank you. That's how we start things off. First of all, party last night was awesome. Where's Sponge at? Sponge, would you stand up? We had some little trivia last night. You guys were really good at your trivia. And we did this thing that we do at RYLA called RYLA Who's Who. And you have to go out and network and find like 20 people that have something in common with you. And I saw a lot of you diligently trying last night, but the cold snacks got in the way and blended your minds together. But Sponge did it, and she brought it here this morning. She filled out her whole entire sheet. When we're done, you and I are heading over to Russell Hampton, and we're going to pick out a little special something for you, incoming president. Awesome. I love that. I love all of you that have come up and talked to me about your kids. First of all, let me ask this question. If you have ever sent a kid, not your Rotary Club, I know a lot of you have sent kids, and Val's going to talk about that in a minute, but if you have sent a blood relative, a child, grandchild, niece, nephew to RYLA, would you please stand up? Would you please stand up if you've literally sent someone related to you to RYLA? Yes, give them a big round of applause. It's amazing. And I love your stories. Joe comes up and he says, hey, our son went to RYLA, and I just want you to know, you ruined him. I was like, that's the worst thing. And then he shows me a picture. He goes, here's my son at college last year, and he had this crazy, wild red and white Christmas tree suit on. I'm like, yes, that was awesome. Thank you for those pictures. Amy came up last night. She goes, hey, my daughter went to RYLA 3 years ago, and she said, I took a picture of you in your crazy, wild purple shirt and white pants, and I texted it to my daughter, and my daughter goes, that's Rich Linden. He does RYLA, the academy I went to. And she goes, oh no, be careful. He's going to make you find strangers and take a selfie. And I was like, yes. If they learn nothing else, at least they got that out of it. So thank you very much. Let me ask this question. Anyone who has served on the board of directors, the evolution of RYLA, it hasn't just happened overnight. It's been 20-some years in the making for Missouri RYLA Academy. And there are incredible people that have built a foundation that we can elevate. If you've been a board of directors member, would you please stand up? Would you please? I know David has been there. Judge, yes. Fred Hahn. Kathy Libby, Rose, thank you. If you have been a counselor and you have spent 4 glorious, relaxed, comfortable days with us at RYLA, would you please stand up? And look at all the counselors that are here. Please stand up if you've been. Cassie, thank you. Very good. Yes, evolution of RYLA, 20-plus years in the making. When I became a Rotarian, and I've been RYLA for 16 years, I've only been a 6-year Rotarian. Isn't that crazy? It's like, man, how stupid. Why didn't I jump on the Rotary bandwagon earlier? But 6 years, and when I came in, I realized RYLA is not just about feeling good and good feelings and getting some teenagers. It's a return on investment. And as a Rotarian, I said this yesterday morning, we're approaching the $1 million mark that Missouri has invested in Missouri RYLA Academy. I want, as a business person, to see a return on my investment. So I want to bring someone up, and I want to clarify something here. I'm so embarrassed yesterday. So when we kick things off, all I wanted to do was do some networking like we do at RYLA, get everyone up and moving and energetic. And Valerie says, you just go do it, and I don't need to, you just introduce me, I'll stand up and wave. And I'm like, no way, we're RYLA. You're the administrative director. She's the administrator over the whole entire state. You have to come up on stage. She goes, no, I'll just wave. I'm like, no, we're together. You're coming up on stage. So then she came up on stage, and then I'm like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, so I'm like, you can sit down now. But my mic was on. And then people are like, whoa, dude, wow, is that how it rolls? And then I had hate and texts and hate emails. I'm like, no way. She is the bomb. She is the administrator. She has been a rock all the way back, Fred Hahn days of laying this foundation. The Honorable Judge Jerry Venners pulling this together. David Robinette, she has been there. worked so hard and so tirelessly that it just burned her. She had to step away for a while. And we're like, what's going to happen? She's like, I can't do it. I have to step away. And then Kathy Leiby and Suzanne Richter said, we will pick this up and we will keep this alive. And it is incredibly hard work. I have the easy part, just running around in crazy stuff and setting this curriculum. But Kathy and Suzanne kept it together, and it's unbelievable. And then Kathy and Suzanne are like, hey, man, we only signed up for like 1 year. You know how Rotary is. You volunteer for 1 year, and we hook you for 5 years, right? And they're like, we're done. We're retired. We want to go run around and find weird magical things and magical places with our spouses. So Valerie came back, and I want her to talk about the return on investment at Missouri RYLA Academy, give you a framework and a picture of where we're at. Valerie, would you give her, please, a big round of applause?
All right, Rich, you can sit down now. And it's true, I am his boss. So we've been together for 16 years, and I like to tell people that we're the OG. The Rotarians have chased everybody else off, but we're still here, so we're the Bonnie and Clyde of RYLA. How do you measure the results of a business of the heart? What does that return of investment look like? And so I thought, man, we roll. So many of us know what RYLA is from we say the word, and we know, but there's a lot of you that don't. So I thought I'd take just a minute before we move on with the program and just tell you what it is. It is not youth exchange, so let me be clear. And we love to cross-pollinate our youth programs, but we're all separate, and we all address different things, and we do different things. And that's one thing as an incoming president that I really want you to take away, is that there's growth in lots of different ways for the youth programs, whatever your club chooses to do. So RYLA actually stands for Rotary Youth Leadership Award, according to Rotary International. It's a 60-year program. We've had it here sponsored, brought in by Dr. Fred Hahn, and it's been in Missouri for over 25 years. And actually, we call it RYLA Academy because we didn't want people to walk away thinking it was camp, and Rich can talk more about that. We meet at William Wood University in Fulton. We wanted to be smack in the middle of Missouri to make it as accessible for the kids from Cape Girardeau as the kids up from Tarkio and from Maryville. We meet for 4 days, and we start on a Sunday and we end on a Wednesday. We've done so well because of the Rotarian investment, like Rich said, that we now have 2 sessions that the students can choose from. And we meet that Sunday after Father's Day, and so we start this year in 2019. Session 1 will be June 23rd to the 26th, and then we meet the week right after the 4th of July. So this 2019 will be July 7 to July 10. We have 151 Rotary clubs in Missouri for the 3 districts. We had 81 clubs sponsor a student last year. So we have modeled ourselves after Show Me Rotary, and that's exactly, we even have a directing board. Is Steve Bacon here? He's totally probably in the bed. What a lazy. Anyway, so he is our current board director, and we have representatives from all 3 districts, and that board has been in place for 15 years. Our goal is to have 100 students per session, and so we always try to make that goal. It's good for the kids, it's good for the program, and we send them back. And that's, I always tell my Rotary clubs, I have 2 things to promise you. Number 1, you send your kid to me, and I guarantee you, I'm not taking them home with me, and I will send them back. Number 1. Number 2, we try our best to send them back better. We send them back better because what they do matters, and what you're doing to support that matters as well. We have a website that, where's Rose? Because she's my new best friend. Rose? Will you stand up? Rose is a past district governor of District 6060, and man, This is how I write her. She runs our website, and she does it all volunteer. And I'll write her a note and go, hey, can we add a scholarship donation button? And by we, I mean you. And so, and I'm pretty sure when she reads what I write, it's probably like blah, 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 blah. And she has to decipher out what I've just tried to scrambly write. And she's phenomenal. And I want to kiss her every time I've seen her. So thank you so much, Rose. And just something about the website, I'm like one of those pop-up video freaks. I love to know the backstory and the little detail. And so since January, our website has had 33 countries look at it, 33. And I think it happens to be connected to the fact that we're presenting the only RYLA breakout session in Hamburg at the Rotary International Convention. 70% of those looks, which is over 5,000 almost now, since January, are these international, and they're directly looking for us. They're looking for us. They're not Googling random RYLAs. They're coming to Missouri. They're coming to find us. As president-elects, I've been a president, I get it. I'm not going to crush you with email. My job is to help you be successful. I want you to be my best friends. And so my job is to be here to serve you, to help you interface with the families and the schools. I know it's tricky sometimes with schools, and I'm here to help you navigate that. When you go to the website, we have a tab that says for Rotary clubs. You pull that down, it looks like a lot of information, and it is, but it's very specifically written and tailored for you, even a letter to your school counselors to help explain what RYLA is in just a short amount of words and time. So I have two pieces of advice for you. Number one, you're going to hear from me probably about September, because after I spend the summer partying with Rich Linden, I need a little downtime. And so I got to catch my breath, as you can see. And so I'm going to send you a letter in the mail. I know, it's true. And I'm going to handwrite the envelope, so you're going to know it's really me. And in there, it will have all the information for the 2020 sessions that I want you to know. We'll send an email out. We go live with our registration November 1, and then we'll start to follow up after the new year. My advice to you, as you're setting your goals, just like Jerry and all of them are explaining and encouraging you to do, is to budget now. When you're setting your budget for next year, I want you to budget for your RYLA student or students. Send them all to me. I'll take them all. I want you to budget it now, because when your year end comes, you're not going to have the money. You will have spent it, and then you're going to be like, dang it. So budget now for next year. And number two, start the process early. These kids, these are people that do not have control of their own schedule. You have to program thinking of mom and dad and what they're thinking next summer. So that's why we open registration in November. So back to the return on investment. The best news I can say about that is that investment, it doesn't come back to us. It comes back to you and your communities and the world. I could stand here all day and tell you amazing stories of what your young people that come from your communities, what they do. We have a RYLArian that went to India, to Calcutta, and she worked in a polio immunization day right there down in the streets. We have a girl that went to RYLA that next week she went home, and her sister was diagnosed with juvenile diabetes, and so she said, you know what, I'll just put together a fun run to earn money because my family needs the help. We have a girl who several years ago, when we collected shoes as a state, and the drop-off was in Colombia, she gathered 700 pairs of shoes from her school. But the thing is, she missed the cutoff. And so when she turned 16 and got her license, she loaded them up and drove them to Buckner in Texas herself. We have kids that have helped build a school in Africa with Minute Bull. And my favorite story maybe of all is there was a young Latino young man who comes from a community, and he didn't speak a word. He spoke English, of course, immigrant family, but he didn't say anything. And it's those kids you never know. Is it impacting them? Does it matter? Is it taking? And he went home and started his soup kitchen in his community, which was quite large. And he ran it for 2 years. And MU was so impressed by what they saw that they gave him a full ride. And he's the first person that ever went to school. And he's the first person from his family to ever go to a university. I just want you to know that what you're doing, it matters. And we appreciate the trust that you're showing us by sending them to us.
So I'm going to be quick, and we want to show the new video, but I want to kind of tell you the 3 points, like Mark said, that really separates us. This was probably a year and a half ago. This has been kind of cooking with me for 6 years. I was assistant director, curriculum director of RYLA for 10 years, and then those directors left, and I really wanted it really badly, and so they're like, I don't know if we want to give RYLA to Rich Linden, but okay, 6 years, I became curriculum director, and it's been cooking. But a year and a half ago, it always takes all of us, all of us as a Rotary family. Nick Rackers, where are you at? Would you stand up, please? Nick Rackers, he came as a Rotarian counselor, and I feel like you've been there forever, man. How many have you done now? 4 this year. I feel like he's been there for 10 because he came in, was a natural fit. And about a year and a half, 2 years ago, he and his bestie, Christopher White, who you may have seen at the party last night, they said, man, Missouri RYLA blows us away. We love this. It's incredible. And the curriculum and all this stuff, we need to let people know. And they got on it. They're the ones that started this, like, yes, we do need to let Missouri Rotarians know. So they planted the seed. Thank you very much, Nick, for this. He's going to be presenting with us. He's going to be with us in Germany presenting Missouri RYLA Academy. So he planted a seed, and I'm like, yes, where are we going with this? I need Missouri to understand this. We need to let the world know. So here we are. Number one, Missouri RYLA Academy is not a camp. We have no campfires. We don't roast marshmallows. We do not play pranks and tricks on each other. We really lay down a service above self for these young people right out of the beginning. And all of our Rotarian counselors are amazing. And we hire school counselors, and they're the ones that wrote the curriculum. So probably 18, 19 years ago, Dr. Hahn is like, yes, education is everything. Let's find some teachers. Let's find the best of the best in the state of Missouri, school counselors and educators, and let's lay down this foundation and write a curriculum. Completely and totally designed for servant leadership. Different than Boys State and Girls State, different than Student Council Camp, completely and totally tailored for servant-hearted individuals, and we build them up and give them all the skills all the way up from beginning to end. 72 hours, we pack that in a curriculum. So that's number one that really separates us out. Number two, we bring in these school counselors. We pay them a stipend, not much, gas money basically, to come and help us as Rotarians deal with any of the issues that these kids may have that they bring to the academy, and they're phenomenal. I want you to know that we have 7 of our school counselors that staff RYLA. 7 of them were past presidents of the Missouri School Counselors Association. So we have the best of the best coming. So that's number one. It's a curriculum driven for servant leadership. When I became a Rotarian, I looked at RYLA with a different lens, as all of a sudden I had my Rotary hat on. Thank you, Cassie Vendors, for inviting me. I got to tell you, membership, I hear this all the time, membership, we're losing members. How do we find members? Ask someone to come to a meeting. Find someone and bring them to your meeting. People said, dude, you must be slow. You were with RYLA and you saw this awesome stuff for 10 years before you became a Rotarian. Yeah, I'm kind of dumb, but no one invited me. And Cassie said, Rich Linden, why don't you come to our Rotary Club? It's time. And man, it resonates. So we have these incredible school counselors, and we pair them up with Rotarian counselors, and we have this curriculum that is It's unbelievable. Would love to share. I said I'm trying to hook all of you to come join us and see what it's like. Number 2. It's Rotary-centric. So when I put on my Rotary glasses 6 years ago, I realized there was something missing in RYLA, and that was Rotary. We're paying for this every single year as Rotarians, but there was a tiny little part about Rotary, and I said, this isn't good. This isn't good. I want all of these teenagers, if they learn nothing else, I want them to walk away from RYLA knowing what Rotary is. I want them to know the 4-way test. I want them to know the 6 areas of focus that we do all over the world. I want them to know about Rotary Youth Exchange and the opportunities, if nothing else. So we started tweaking the curriculum and adding Rotary moments and opportunities for incredibly powerful servant leaders that are with me to get up and share their story. I always say, what's your passion? What's your pain? What do you do well? And that's where we take our kids, and I have our Rotarians through the whole entire curriculum integrated into that and sharing and role model and opening those doors for them. So that is it. It is Rotary-centric right now. And that's number 2. Number 3, and this is the thing that's really set us up, is when I had you take your phones out. I saw your selfies, by the way, on social media. I was looking at Instagram and Facebook, and I saw you. We want to embrace technology because that's what young people do. They embrace the technology. So don't tell them, turn your phones off, put them away. No way. I have them get their phones out. And I got to tell you, that very first night when we're doing ground rules, and I have them get their phones out, and I say, keep your phone on. Anytime you want to text someone, tweet something out, share something, do it. Do you know we've never had a problem with phones at RYLA? When I say this, first of all, the kids, their jaws drop. They're like, what? He told us to use our phones while he's talking? Yes, I did, because that's the reality. So our third thing is technology now. We, on our website that Rose has designed, we take these kids through this curriculum of servant leadership. I don't want them going home and saying, wow, this was a wonderful experience, and then 6 months later go, man, you remember that camp that I went to? No, I want them leaving RYLA not only with a heart for service, but with a plan, immediate plan of action to make the world a better place. So we have this incredible curriculum, all these Rotary moments, all this stuff. We lead them through this thing called the Amazing Race, just like the television show. They're running all over campus, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But while they're doing this, they're building a service project. And in the old days, we forced them to do a food pantry. And 6 years ago, I said, no. Why are we forcing the teenagers to do what we want? Why are we making them transform to us? No way. We need to find their passion. So we changed it. So all the small groups, they're all in teams with the Rotarian counselor and the school counselor. The teenagers have to decide what makes us hurt the most. What are we really hurting our hearts? What do we want to do? And as they're going through the Amazing Race and running all over campus, they're developing an action plan for a service project. And the technology now is such that we can put them right up on our website. They go from, is it short-term, is it long-term, is it sustainable? They have to do all of these checks. They have to do the 4-way test. They have to put a budget together, a timeline, collaboration. They put this all together as they're going through the Amazing Race. And you know what's cool? While they're happening, they're just hanging out here and doing stuff. Kathy Leiby, her innovation. We have crazy crises that happen, emergencies and disasters happen at RYLA on the William Woods campus. So we may be in a meeting. We have a polio outbreak actually occurs now in Fulton, Missouri while we're doing our stuff. And they have to stop their little service projects. They have to reorganize as teenagers and find out who's going to respond and take off. They have to figure out where the polio outbreak is hitting on campus, and they have to go inoculate. And we have little stuffed animals that are kind of the mascots of the academy, and they have to inoculate the babies. And Kathy Leiby's there, and she checks it off, and then she paints their fingernails purple. And what's crazily weird is that almost all of the teams send boys to go out and inoculate. I don't know why that is. It's a weird thing. I don't know. I don't know if the girls that are in the group working on service projects like, we need to get rid of 2 people for a while. Billy, Sam, why don't you go run around and go inoculate some Some people, yes. So it does. But these boys come back with purple fingernails, and they love it. It's pride. They love it. We have a water disaster during RYLA, so there is a huge water shortage and crisis. They have to deliver water to a village, and they have to do it precariously. And so all of this is building them to a service project, and that's it. And our technology, we're putting it up on the website. So when they leave RYLA, they can immediately go home to their Rotary Club. They can pull up the website, if you have the technology in your Rotary Club to pull up the website, and they can show you what they did. I will tell you, just this past year, one young man from our club that we sponsored, and his mom is actually not president-elect, but what is it, president nominee, yes. So she's here. Her son went through RYLA. He loved it. He came and presented to our Rotary Club. They did a water project in Djibouti, Africa. That was their project, and he's showing it and talking it through. And Rotarians are like, Tyler, this is amazing. And someone interrupted him and said, I make a motion right now that we start this project and we fund this and cut a check. And then Larry Lunsford's in our club, and Larry goes, I know people in Africa. We're going to do this. This poor little 16-year-old boy was like, he looked over at me like, sorry, dude, this is the way it goes. This is the way it goes, man. So he was just like, he was looking at his mom like, I don't know what to do. That's the welcome to Rotary, man. So we're using technology, so they're throwing this up here. I'll tell you, last year we had 4 kids that said, hey, I went back. My team that did this little project, whatever it is, sometimes it's raising money for books for a school. I mean, they just come up with all these crazy things. We had 4 clubs that sponsored, cut checks for teenagers last year to do their service project in their community. We're using technology now to do this. And here's the last piece, and I'm going to show this video. Now we're using social media. In real time, because I let the kids use their phones through the whole academy, anytime you want to, just pick it up. Whatever's on your mind, whatever's on your heart, whatever. Just if your best friend's like, are you still at camp or whatever, text them back, whatever. Well, our kids now are tweeting out pictures, are knocking things down, are putting on Instagram. 2 years ago, we had people following us in real time. Last year, just the floodwaters busted wide open, and in real time, Tyler's group that was doing Djibouti Water Project connected at RYLA with Djibouti and a Rotary Club, and they started following us. And then all of a sudden, Val goes, we have a club in Indonesia that's following us right now, what our teenagers are doing, and responding on Instagram and on Twitter in real time. And this is the breakthrough for us. All of a sudden, we're allowing the teenagers to take their passion, what they do best with the social media, connecting now not only with RYLA academies and camps, but with Rotary clubs all over. We've had New Jersey, we've had Indonesia, we've had Germany, we've had other countries in Africa. All of a sudden, we had Brazil. Brazil's like, what are you doing? And the kids are responding. I don't know how to do this stuff. I don't know how to do any of that, but they're doing it in real time. That's the difference. So when Nick and Chris said, hey, we gotta set this apart, we really need to show this off, here are the 2 things that we decided. On the last day of RYLA, when they've been doing the Amazing Race and they have their service projects and they have to put it into a Google document, Google presentation, like a PowerPoint, on the very last day, we flipped from the Amazing Race to Shark Tank. And all the groups have to stand up on a little front area, not a stage, but in the front of our room, our little classroom, and they have to present their project. And our Rotarians have an evaluation sheet, and they judge every single team's project as a viable business option. Is this budgeted correctly? Is the timeline right? Is this viable? Is it sustainable? So our Rotarians are doing this. Our school counselors are judging them on the creative presence. How was the presentation? Were they prepared? Did they speak well? Did they have nice visuals? I decided this year that we're putting all this money into it. You are, all across the state. I don't want just our counselors watching this. I want the entire state of Missouri watching this. So Val is going to be sending some things out. In fact, there's some stuff on your tables right now, an invitation. On the Wednesday morning of both of our RYLA academies, we would like to invite the entire state of Missouri to come Val's going to host a little reception, coffee, pastries, come in, see the campus at William Woods, and then we have this giant auditorium. So the kids don't know this and our staff don't know this yet, but we're going to be moving the presentations into a giant TED Talk like. They're going to be on a giant stage in a huge dome auditorium that seats 2,000 people, and they have a giant movie screen in the back that they will be doing their presentations on. And so you will be getting information on that, and there's some stuff on the tables, is that right? So mark that down. If you're free on a Wednesday morning in the summertime, in June and July, you want to come, you can RSVP so we have enough coffee, and then you come and you watch these incredible presentations. But it doesn't stop there. When Nick's like, man, we got to show everyone. I'm in sports entertainment. I do 183 events a year, mostly sporting events. And we broadcast live, and it's not just television. We stream everything. Even if you don't have it on TV, it's streaming. So I started thinking, I was with some of my buddies who are video guys, they're the camera guys, and like, Rich, why don't you stream it live to the world? Why don't we? So this year, and when we present, Nick and Val and I present in Hamburg, we're going to be giving the entire world an invitation to come online on that Wednesday morning, stream it. We already are setting up the link right now, and we're setting up the cameras and the production crew, and these kids, their presentations are going to be streamed live. So if you can't make it, you can sit at your desk or at home, pull up your laptop, hit that link, and you can watch them in the comfort of your own office or your own home. This is the direction that Missouri is going, and this is what humbles me and makes me very proud. So give yourselves a big round of applause, because it's really you. So I'm going to finish this, Jerry, just like I did. We talked to a very good friend of mine who is a big-time video production guy. He's amazing, and he has this giant heart, and I don't know how he did this, probably over cold snacks. Cold snacks is code for beer, in case you didn't know. That's my little code. So one afternoon, I'm with him having cold snacks, and I talked him into coming to RYLA and being our video guy, and he comes, and every morning he takes photos and videos of the kids all day, and then he edits it, and every night before they go to bed, he shows a video of what they did that day in real time, and they're like, wow, and it just pumps them up, and then they go to bed. Well, he did a video, and he readdresses the heart of RYLA, and we're going to be showing this when we're in Germany too. So I want to close this out with that, and go ahead, David.
My name is Abigail Reese.
My name is Tyler Swift.
Caitlin Johnson.
My name is Henry Witt.
My name is Rebecca Bartlett.
Give me your heart, give me your song, sing it with all your might. Come to the fountain and you can be satisfied. There is a peace.
Honestly, I don't really have any expectations for this week. I'm just looking to come and learn new things, basically.
When the kids first show up on day one, it kind of looks like a middle school dance and nobody really wants to talk to anybody.
Coming into this week, I really hope that I can make a lot of friends, but I was like super nervous because I'm really bad at making friends sometimes, so I just like want to meet new people and have a lot of fun.
On the first day, I was really scared because my mom told me I was coming to this camp like a week ago, so she kind of just threw it on me, and I was like, oh, great.
As soon as you start,
Do you know your name?
to let go. Give me your heart, give me your song, sing it with all.
I made friends so quickly because all the activities we've done are so involving, and it just brings everybody closer together.
We do a little cheer. So I'm going to teach you that cheer right now. So everybody repeat after me. All right, all right.
In everyday life, it usually doesn't happen that way, where we just meet each other and then like we're friends and we trust each other.
Let go. Give me your heart, give me your song, sing it with all your might. Come to the fountain.
We actually like never really got frustrated. Like it was really weird. We would get flustered, I guess, but even when we couldn't like finish a task, we were never upset. We were just like, darn, I guess we're gonna do it again.
A lot of students out here, a lot of these kids out here are really trying their best to work together, be productive.
My
I would say the biggest thing I've learned this week is how to let other people lead and be a follower. I've always been more of like a natural leader. I really love being in control, but like this week I've really had to learn how to have other people assume that role, and it's been a really great experience.
Mist on the mountain rising.
It's taught me to be a good leader, and the games have sort of taught me to always take everyone's ideas into consideration.
Lessons I've learned this week at RYLA, like, it may have been fun and games here, but I know I can definitely apply them in my community.
There's somebody out there who doesn't have it as good as you, and not to judge people and like not to read a book by its cover.